While they're leaving, we are welcoming up Congresswoman Yvette Clarke. She is the incoming chair for the Congressional Black Caucus. She's been in congressional leadership a long time.
Congresswoman.
And she is extraordinary. We first met while she was on the Homeland Security Committee as a freshman, and watching her rise has been my greatest privilege and honor. Congresswoman Clarke, thank you so much for being here with us today.
I want to add that she's one of the most fashionable members of Congress,
is.
as well, has always been super fly, and a member of Delta Sigma Theta, Sorority Incorporated. And on a personal note of privilege, you have always been so supportive of me. So I want to thank you publicly for that. So we love you and happy. Welcome home.
Welcome home.
Wonderful. It's such an honor to be with you. And I do want to make a correction. I am the first vice chair of the Congressional Black Caucus, and I'm seeking the support of my colleagues to become the next chair of the Congressional Black Caucus. But you know, you put it,
we
you
like to claim things.
Speak it into being.
Well, here's
Absolutely.
what I know. Here's what I know, and I want to say this to you. Of course, that race is not partisan, and also we're in the clear here. What I want to say to you, to your face, Ms. Clarke, is as long as I worked on the Hill, and even after, I know how long you've served diligently, how much you love your colleagues, how much you love the culture, how much you love your constituents, how much you adore our community. And so I am confident that you will be the next chair of the Congressional Black Caucus. And I know I've seen your service, you know, firsthand, and I loved laboring with you because you made everything fun. And we still worked hard, but you always kept a smile on your face, and I'm grateful for that, and for your sisterhood, too.
Thank you so much, my sisters. And Andrew, it's such a pleasure to be here
it's
with
good to
you.
Be with you. I was going to tell you, I told Congresswoman Maxine Waters when we were together at the DNC how growing up in Florida in Gainesville, how I didn't know my member of Congress, and it was a white male at the time, and how because of her advocacy, I always felt like she was my member of Congress. You're the next member of Congress who really puts it in the mold of, I don't have to be a New York resident in your district to know that you're out there fighting for us.
Absolutely.
And so I know our listeners feel that way. I know I personally feel that way. And I'm thankful for your leadership, and high time that a voice like yours helms again the CBC.
Thank you all so very much. I appreciate it, and I love my people. At the baseline, it starts with the love of your people, and you will go, through the fire to make sure that they are safe, they are protected, they are thriving.
That's real.
Yes.
In this society.
You do that every day. I want to ask you, we're talking about this election in less partisan ways because, we want to protect the 501c3 status of the foundation.
Absolutely.
But one thing I wanted to raise is there are a lot of concerns impacting our community specifically going into this election. And we're not talking about who to vote for necessarily right now, but I think we all want to preserve democracy. There are a lot of threats at stake, and you, for a long time, cybersecurity has been your bread and butter. You know that space. What are you most concerned about for Black folks going into this election cycle?
Absolutely. I'm concerned that our extreme, devotion to social media puts us in a place where misinformation and disinformation can permeate our thoughts. And so oftentimes what we're seeing is not accurate. They're deep fakes, technology used to intentionally deceive people. That can be visual and it can be audio as well. And this will be the first election where this technology is at the fingertips of the average everyday American. Not to mention foreign adversaries.
Sure. Yes.
And so I'm just concerned, given the tone and tenor of this particular election cycle, some would call it desperation, others would call it overly ambitious, that there will be those types of disruptions to our election. And it doesn't have to be information regarding candidates. It could be your polling site is closed.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yep.
The date of the election.
Absolutely.
And it's interesting you bring that up because it shows how powerful we are as a people in this country first, but second, as a voting bloc, because we are disproportionately targeted by misinformation and disinformation. I would argue perhaps second only to the Latino community. And a lot of these outlets don't have native Spanish speakers to help dispute some of the disinformation. So we want to encourage our viewers out there, share responsibly, consume information responsibly. What are some things that you would encourage people to do? Like how do they make sure that they're not consuming misinformation and disinformation, and what role is the Congressional Black Caucus in using
that same device provides us the opportunity to fact check.
Yes.
Right? So don't just receive content and not then do a little due diligence around it.
Yeah.
Because if it doesn't sound right, it probably isn't right.
Right, that's right.
And oftentimes we know that the information we receive can be flawed.
Yeah.
And we don't want to inadvertently participate in the spread of that. And that's what generative AI can do in the blink of an eye. Yeah. So I want to encourage our folks to use that same device when you receive something on social media to investigate.
Yeah.
You do your own fact checking.
Yeah, I love that.
Have you considered, I know you've got to bounce, I'm so sorry. Have you considered the feeling what the work becomes if you are negotiating as CBC chair with a black woman president who's overly qualified and all the other good stuff? But I don't want us to sit in a moment that we're not at yet. But I would love to hear your pre-thought.
I'm extraordinarily excited about, first of all, what the Biden-Harris administration has already done. They've made monumental investments, and the CBC has been a major part of negotiating those investments, knowing that the need for those investments to hit our communities is paramount, and that we're turning the page. We are already turning the page. The question is, will we go back? Will all of those investments be dismantled? And we say, no, it won't. We say, not on our watch. And just knowing that this, I want to say sister, is a new generation. Both of us were born in the same year. I won't go into those details, but you can Google it. Use your Google machine. We were born as beneficiaries of the civil rights movement.
Yeah.
We were not, the young people that marched or the young people that were hosed. We were the beneficiaries. And that meant that, the world was our oyster because our ancestors truly did what needed to be done in order to advance our communities.
Yeah.
We now have someone with that frame to move us forward.
Yeah.
And certainly among CBC members, we've got a intergenerational body. And that is a unique blend in this century. We are, I believe, at the precipice of manifesting a whole new paradigm of a civil society.
Yeah.
It already exists. There are those who are in denial about the existence. But as a result of what our ancestors did, we probably have the most educated black community in a generation. That's not to say that there is major work that has to be done, because we got to raise the bar. And I think that's where the fear that we are experiencing that has been weaponized against us is coming from. So stay tuned.
Thank you. And I just want to let you know, because I know you've got to get to the dinner, but the comments on our YouTube Live, everyone is commenting about your glasses and your nails. I told y'all she's the most fashionable. So thank you so much, Congresswoman Clark, for being here. Love having you.
Much continued success.
Yes, we can't wait to have you back in all your capacities.
I'm looking forward to